Nate Tice here from Yahoo Sports with Jonathan Taylor, running back from Indianapolis Colts. I'm here on behalf of Dairy Queen, also a former Wisconsin Badger, which matters. It absolutely matters because we actually get to talk ball because I know he knows ball. Actually, my first question, Jonathan, I have to ask you. At Wisconsin, you did a little bit under center, a little bit pistol.
Yes.
I remember you guys getting to that. And then with the Colts, you're a lot of gun and then shotgun with Anthony. Which do you prefer to run out of? Because I feel like you can do a little bit of all of it, but like, which do you prefer?
I'm not gonna lie. Actually, when we started running a little bit of the pistol in Wisconsin, I had a lot of good runs out of the pistol, and I had some pistol runs in high school, and then now in Indianapolis we do some pistol as well. So the pistol's starting to grow on me. At first, the under center, it's 8 yards deep. That was my thing, but I'm starting to like the pistol.
That's pretty cool because it merges the worlds a little bit. Do you have a favorite run overall, or one out of the pistol that you like the most?
For sure. I mean, outside zone.
I knew it.
Just with
I knew
just
it.
with the threat of the speed, you get the backers moving, then you're cutting through the defense. Outside zone, hands down.
That's because you're fast. You can actually get to the edge and then get north on all of it. Actually, so I talked about Wisconsin though, but you were either committed to or had interest in Harvard, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
What happened there? Were you actually committed? Were you actually like looking there, took visits or anything? But talk about your Harvard stint when you were Crimson.
That was one of the hardest decisions I had to make in my life. So I was accepted. I mean, I was accepted. We went through the process, and then it was really on me. And I sat down one day and I said, you know what? I said, let me go ahead. Let me research the academic side of the University of Wisconsin. Everyone talked about Harvard. Oh my gosh, you graduate, you'll have a job, you'll be set for life. I found out Wisconsin was a top 20 academic institution. It put every question I had to bed. I get to challenge myself on the field and off the field. It was a match made in heaven.
And then once you saw that, when I was there, business school, #1, Wisconsin, beat out Harvard, which actually made an aspect of that. So how many yards do you think you would have ran for in the Ivy League? You broke 2K in the Big Ten. So how many would you have done in the Ivy League?
I will say this, though. We had an all-world offensive line. I mean, they were on Big Dave, Dieter, Tyler Biotis. They were on the cover of Sports Center, ESPN. Like, I had an elite offensive line. So I don't know how elite the offensive line would have been at Harvard, but I think we definitely would have some fun.
Matt Burke played there over years ago, so that was one of them. Where do you think, since you got at Wisconsin, where do you think your game has grown the most since you've been a pro? Like, I know I've seen a little, your pass protection, personally, I think has gotten a lot better. But is there any underrated aspect of your game you think you've gotten a lot better at?
Definitely, I think the pass protection, but also understanding of the protection game. Before it was, especially at Wisconsin, who do I have? Just let me know who I have. I'll go and block them. But now it's, okay, I know where our potential threats are. Okay, if we're hot off of this, off of this edge, I need to be over on this edge. Like, really the understanding of the game. And that's how you have to be. You have to be a smart player because everyone's talented in the league.
Absolutely. And you're very talented, fast, big, and now you can pick up protections. It's great. What do you think, I have to ask this personally because I don't get to talk much Badgers, what do you think Wisconsin needs to get back on track, or what do you think they need, just as an alum, a fellow alum?
I think one thing, it was a big culture shock. I've heard nothing but great things about Luke Fickell, but when you have 3 or 4 recruiting classes of Wisconsin style of ball players, it's going to be tough to just go cold turkey and just kind of change the kind of culture there. But I do think we just need to get back to our identity or a new identity, but then we got to bring those guys in. I felt like it was just in the middle of limbo there, and you kind of got to recruit those guys and bring them in for your system.
I was getting a little worried when they were hyping up all these receiver transfers. I was like, where are the linemen? Where's the back and everything? I have one more question here. So you get carried the ball over 300 times again last season, which is a few seasons since you've done that. How do you prepare for that kind of workload? I know being big helps, but was it in the spring, in the off season, or in training camp to use as a ramp-up period to get acclimated? What do you kind of focus on to get ready for such a long season?
Number one, it's definitely the training in the off season. It's hard to train your body a certain way and then go into the season and have a super demanding workload. Your body's not prepared for it. So the training should actually be harder than the season. You should be busting your tail in the off season to know, no matter what they throw at me, whether it's a 12-carry game or a 30-carry game, I'm ready for it. I've worked through it before. I'm built for it.
That's awesome. Man, I mean, you had several 30-carry games this season, too. How many in a row do you think you could take? Like, what is your record? Probably 7 or 8?
Yeah, I think it was like 8. I think there was one, especially in Wisconsin, too. I think there was one time we ran like 8 or 9 times in a row. Like
Paul Chryst will do that. Do you have a Paul Chryst story? Actually, we'll wrap up on that.
Paul Chryst is amazing. It's just, I remember.
This is for me, by the way.
I remember leaving. And we were talking about discussing staying or leaving. So I went to his office And he's like, JT, I'm just telling you right now. So if you decide to come back, he said, you won't have a scholarship. He said, get out of here. And that's just the type of person he is. He's like, listen, as much as I want you to be back here, go ahead and chase your dreams. Like, you're ready for it. You don't need another year.
He's a pro, just like you. Gosh. But wrapping it up, you are here on behalf of Dairy Queen.
Yes, I
talk
am.
Talk about what you're doing. Let's talk about Super Bowl snacks, I believe it was.
Oh my gosh. Listen, so Dairy Queen has been taking tremendous care of me really throughout college and throughout the league. I mean, after a big game during the off season, I'm going and I'm getting their honey barbecue sauce and tossed chicken strips. For me personally, I'm also adding their Oreo Blizzard treat. I mean, that's just a cherry on top. But like I said, I'm out here promoting their sauce and tossed honey barbecue chicken strip basket, a personal favorite of mine. I'm actually going here right after I finish here. So just to let you know, that's where I'll be at. Don't tell the team that I'm indulging in it too much, but it is the beginning of the offseason, so I'm all right.
You're getting ready for 300 touches.
I'm getting ready for
exactly.
it. It's the preparation.
Jonathan, thank you so much for joining me. Jonathan Taylor, running back, Indianapolis Colts, here on behalf of Dairy Queen from New Orleans. Thanks, dude.
Appreciate you,
awesome.
man.